Now we're going to go and to see what some of our celebrities have to say about having gun control. We'll have to check up now and then to see if this is all working out. Here's a quote of the day by Dianne Feinstein. All vets are mentally ill in some way, and the government should prevent them from owning firearms. Yep, she's really said it on Thursday at the meeting in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and the quote below is from the LA Times is priceless, and sometimes even the LA Times gets it right. By Kurt Nemo, Senator Feinstein insults the U.S. veterans as she flays about in a vain attempt to save her anti-firearm bill. Brethren, I'd like to bet you that, now I don't know this for a fact, but I wouldn't doubt she has armed guards, with guns, mind you, protecting the bottom side of her lap. But she don't want you protecting yours. Here's a quote of the day from the Los Angeles Times. Frankly, I don't know what it is about California, but we seem to have a strange urge to elect really obnoxious women to high office. I'm not bragging, you understand, but no other state, including Maine, even comes close when it comes to sending left-wing dingbats to Washington. We're number one. There's no getting around the fact that the last time anyone saw the likes of Bieber, boxer Dianne Feinstein, Maxine Walters, and Nancy Pelosi, they were stirring up a cauldron when the curtain went up on Macbeth. The four of them are like jackasses who happen to possess the gift of blab. You don't know if you should condemn them for their stupidity or simply marvel at their ability to form words. This was done by columnist Bert Berluschi, the Los Angeles Times. Brethren, that's something we don't know about. The poor gal just can't help it that they're so far out. They think that all veterans that are gun trained are crazy dimbags. They're crazy because they have a firearm. They're probably all trained. They have a CCW. They've went to special school learning how to do it. About all the shootings, did you hear? You ever heard of anybody with a CCW going out on a shooting range or a rampage, seeing how many people they can mow down? Well, let's take a look at a magazine I have, the Concealed Weapons magazine, that has some articles in it for these crazy people that has guns. Okay, now we're over to the Concealed Carry magazine. I'm going to put on my glasses. I have 20/20 vision far out, but when we get up close, I can read it, but it's much more clear if I put my glasses on. A 77-year-old Arizona man shoots home invader. A Phoenix man was awakened at 3 a.m. by a strange noise in his home. Having been burglarized several times before, he took a shotgun with him when he went to investigate the noises. Encountering an unknown man in the front part of his house, he fired one shot at the intruder, killing him. Police are investigating the incident. What's to investigate? He just saved the county or the state a lot of court costs. All they have to do is bury the guy. Now in Georgia, jewelry store robber takes hammer to a gunfight. Yeah, these crazy people. Two young men entered a Duluth jewelry store and smashed a showcase with a hammer in a robbery attempt. Seeing that what was going on, the armed store owner drew a pistol and confronted the two, who immediately fled on seeing the owner's gun. Police are investigating the attempted robbery. You know, these robbers, they don't mind having to hurt somebody else, but boy, they sure like to protect their own skin. In New Hampshire, a CCW, that's concealed carry weapons holder, foils a carjacking. In Nashua, CCW holder reacts quickly when an unknown man opened the passenger door to his car and got in, drawing his illegally carried concealed pistol. The armed citizen aimed the pistol at the head of the intruder and held him for police. The authorities did not fault the gun owner for his action, noting that he was legally carrying the pistol and that the intruder admitted trying to steal his car. An armed Ohio homeowner thwarts daylight burglars. A Toledo man, what sounded like someone breaking into his garage at 11:30 a.m., taking up his pistol, he went to investigate the noise, encountering three young men in the act of breaking into his property. He fired one shot at them, hitting no one but putting the burglars to flight. Police cited the Ohio Stand Your Gun law, discussing whether the prosecutors would file charges against the homeowner. That law gives homeowners the benefit of the doubt when deadly force against attempt to invade his home. What they want to the homeowner for? Only thing they should have did is paid for him to go out and have some practice time on the range. He missed them all. In Massachusetts, resident foils armed and masked home invaders. A Dorchester man confronted two armed and masked burglars with a gun when they forced their way into his apartment in mid-morning home invasion. Firing on them, he killed one and put the other to flight. As the surviving burglar left the apartment building, he was quickly apprehended by a police officer who happened to be at the right place at the right time. Criminal charges are pending against the surviving criminal. Police are investigating whether the defending resident had a license to own a gun. Me, I don't think you need a license to hold a gun. That's my own belief at that kind of stuff anyway. I see my videos getting some bad light against some of this here. I don't know what. I'll move this a little bit. Maybe I'll get some better light on it. A Pennsylvania CCW holder wins against armed robbers. Chester man was leaving a bar early one morning when he is accosted by an armed man in a robbery attempt. The CCW holder drew his legally carried weapon and engaged the robber. In the ensuing exchange of fire, both men were wounded in the robber fatality. Police referred the case to the Delaware County prosecutors, who will decide whether to charge against the victim. Brethren, I don't know if the man worked there at the bar or what, but here in Arizona, you can carry a weapon into the bar, but you don't dare take a drink. Then all bets are off. A Tennessee homeowner fights off an assailant after being shot. A Knoxville man is in serious condition after fighting off two men who invaded his home recently. The two men shot the victim multiple times, but he was able to retrieve the handgun and return fire on the intruders, killing one and put the second to flight. Police believe the 66-year-old homeowner was acting in self-defense. Really? After he gets shot 2 or 3 times and he kills somebody? And he's acting in self-defense? What else could they think? A Louisiana granny gets her gun, stops robbery by a shotgun-toting teen. A 63-year-old Shreveport grandmother was at home alone one night when a 17-year-old with a shotgun forced his way into the house and robbed her after handing him a bag of coins that she kept in the safe. She drew a loaded handgun she kept in the same safe and fired on the robber, killing him. This old grandmother should get a medal. It saved the courts a lot of money. Don't have to pay for a lawyer, court costs, just something to dig a hole and put him in. Armed Oregon woman prevents a daylight burglary. Norma Lisa Atkins would be home on a Wednesday morning, but she was homesick, resting in bed when she heard what she thought was her dogs fooling around and being puppy Labradors. When the barking intensified, she got up to investigate and brought her sidearm with her. She encountered a man who had broken into her home and was able to hold him at gunpoint until the police arrived and transported him to Lane County Jail. Good for her. Now, Feinstein believes we're crazy for having guns. Who's the crazy one? I'll tell you who the crazy ones are. The ones that voted her in to put her into office. That are the crazy ones. You know, they say California is the granola bar people. The nuts, the fruits, and the flakes. And they get the worst ones to put in charge of them. Well, brethren, with that, we're going to close for this time. You all have a great and wonderful day. And until next time, bye for now.